Hello, so today we're going to be exploring historic Feltville, which is a deserted village in Union County, New Jersey. You can kind of see the barn behind me, and there'll be other video clips of other cottages and buildings as well. Union County in New Jersey is right above Middlesex County, so it's still kind of part of central New Jersey, not quite North Jersey yet, but leading there. The Union County Parks and Recreation System has 36 parks, which total almost 6,200 acres. The Watchung Reservation, which includes the deserted village of Feltville, is alone approximately 2,200 acres, which in it features the Trailside Nature and Science Center, Watchung Stable, the deserted village of Feltville, and Lake Surprise, all of which, well, most of which you'll kind of see in this video. So in the 1730s, the colonial settlement of Peters Hill took place. The Wilcox and other people built a mill on Blue Brook, and their graves are still marked by gravestones that you'll see later in the video. That's all that remains of what they tried to establish at this location in Feltville. In 1845, David Felt, who owned stationery stores, took over the property, became kind of a company town. By 1850, about 175 residents lived there. In 1860, Dr. S.P. Townsend, known sarsaparilla manufacturer and abolitionist, chose this location for manufacturing his sarsaparilla. By the 1870s, however, it was deserted and attracting tourists because of the architecture and because of its deserted nature. In 1882, Warren Ackerman purchases the site and he turned it into a summer resort called Glenside Park. That did not last that long. It closed in 1916. In the 1920s, E.J. Grossman buys part of it. He had Nicaraguan Mexican artists named Roberto de la Selva paint Mexican murals on the walls of one of the cottages. There is a sort of information board explaining that and kind of showing the artwork because you can't go into any of the cottages right now. Also in the 1920s, Union County Parks and Rec is established. The Watchung Reservation is formed, and that includes historic Feltville. During Depression, cottages are rented out to people, and it's known as Glenside Village. In the 1970s, archaeologists investigate the site. In 1980, Feltville, or Glenside Park, or Glenside Village, is recognized as historically significant on both the state and federal levels. As you can see from the video, the cottages are sort of in disrepair, whether it's from recent storms or if it just has been that way for a while. I mean, given that they were built quite some time ago. There are areas that you're not supposed to go into, so we're only able to see the outside. Theories about why the establishment here did not work, not really known. It doesn't really seem that there has been too much out on that, at least not that I could find. Really, the information that I was able to find was more historical about that time period or about the different people and enterprises that were there at this location. So there's also Revolutionary War history in this area. At one point, you'll see a trailhead for the Battle of Scotch Plains. And there's also other trails behind the cottages and just kind of through the Watchung Reservation, which you'll kind of see in the video as well. It's very beautiful area. There was a copper mine that I think dated back to the 1600s, back in the woods. There is a placard for it that kind of explains a little bit about that. And yeah, so right here you just see some cottages in disrepair. I know that having greenery grow on the roof and on the awnings and whatnot may not be really a good sign. However, it is kind of pretty to look at. And there is something interesting about these buildings that were once lived in and once used that are now just sitting kind of empty. Some of the little windows are broken. And of course, they all have the no trespassing signs. I think it would be really interesting to go in and kind of explore. Is this area haunted? Not that I know of. I didn't see any evidence of that. But there are people who lived and died in this area. Feltville, when it was a company town, did have workers from different areas as well. So there were not just American-born workers, there were also workers from Germany, England, Ireland, who came there. And there are records that it was a combination of single men and women, married couples, and even child labor. Given that the time it was a company town was before abolition, so it's before the abolition of slavery, before the Civil War, so it was quite some time ago. But you can kind of see, what I really wanted to do with the video is kind of give you the feel of the place, and maybe pique your interest so you can go check it out yourself. Now this one had a window air conditioner, which I'm assuming is not a ye old air conditioner from the 1700s or 1800s. But I think they are trying to keep the buildings there, given that it is a historic site. So, there is some work being done. And one of the buildings, not one of these ones here, but I think it might have been a barn or something like that, is open as a visitor center periodically. But as far as I know, it wasn't open today. And this is the beginning of the hiking that I did. So I actually went here with my dad. He came with me because he had the day off. And so we were like, well, let's just go on this trail and see where it takes us. And so we ended up spending quite some time in the woods hiking, which was fine. It would have been nice to know a little bit more about the trails going in. So things that I would recommend for anyone looking to hike by themselves or with another person: bring water. Whatever time of year it is, bring water. Sunscreen. You want to make sure you put sunscreen on your face. Areas like your ears, neck, eyelids count too. Bug spray, if you are someone who typically uses bug spray. And right now, given that we're still in the midst of a pandemic, bring a mask. You shouldn't be that close to other people since you are hiking in the woods, so you shouldn't really need to wear it, but always a good thing to have with you. Not a bad idea to have your phone fully charged, given that you can download a lot of trail maps and things from the internet, and in case of emergency, having a phone is not a bad thing to do either. And then don't forget to bring a good attitude and just enjoy, right? It's very beautiful. There's actually a lot in New Jersey that I think people don't realize, and so part of my goal here is really to kind of share that and really just show the different things that the state has to offer. And hopefully I'll travel more other places too, but as of right now, it's just New Jersey. And then admission to like the Watchung Reservation, just like I would say like the majority of parks, is free. So really the only thing you have to do is pay for the gas to get there. We did see some people hiking, and we did see quite a few families. So kids of various ages with one or both parents. So it was nice to see, and it is somewhere that is trafficked and probably upkept pretty decently.
A little bit further to the
This is a tulip tree. If you look at the leaf, it kind of resembles a bit of the outline of a tulip. And for anyone who's not very familiar with hiking, when you see three blazes like that, it signifies the beginning or the end of a trail. So that's good to know, because sometimes trails don't all start at the same place. You might be able to pick one up from farther away from the original trailhead that you started from. So those three blazes, that signifies the start and the end of a trail. So one feature that we came across was there is a self-guided ecology hike. It has different QR codes periodically, and you could scan it, and theoretically it would bring you to a website with information. However, the one I tried about the pudding stone, it did not work. The website wasn't up to date. They got like a 404 error, but hopefully in the future you'll be able to see it. This is the gravesite of the original settlers of that area. So it was Peters Hill originally, which was a colonial settlement. And this last bit here is Lake Surprise, as in, surprise, here's a lake that you can't swim in on this hot day. I hope you enjoyed this video about the Watchung Reservation. Thank you. Enjoy.